My name is Richard Anderson, and this is my informative speech. This is my audience. Mike, Phil, and Matt. Now, how many of you guys has either seen the movie Happy Gilmore or Caddyshack? Those are two of my favorite movies, and both of them revolve around the sport of golf. I'm sure you guys have all been familiar with golf before and have been around it your whole life, but maybe you've never actually tried the sport for yourself. Growing up, I was always around the sport of golf because my dad and his uncles would always play, and I can remember being really little and going and watching them play. I also had the opportunity when I was younger to get trained by a professional golfer that my dad actually knew. Golf is a sport that anyone of any age can play. I'll also go into more detail about the different clubs that you can use, also some information on the different courses, and then at the end I'll go over some basic rules that you should know when you're going to play golf. First off, I'll talk a little bit about my golf clubs. As you can see, I have my woods, which generally are a lot bigger than any other clubs. The head's a lot bigger on them. And on my set, I have a driver, a 3-wood, and a 5-wood. These are mostly used when you're making your first shot, and it's usually the longest shot that you're going to make. Hence, that's why the head's so big, and it drives the ball farther than any other clubs. Next, I'll go over the irons, which are the next clubs that I have. And I don't know if you can see from here, but there are a lot of different irons. There's not just a few like with the woods. And the main difference between the irons is the percentage of loft that's on the club, and depending on the degree that it's turned is the different club that it is. And like I said, I have like a 7-iron, 3-iron, 4-iron, 6, 9, and it goes on and on. Finally, I'm sure you guys are all familiar with the putter. I'm sure you've all played putt-putt before, and that's pretty much what this club is for. Once you actually get the ball on the green closest to the pin, this is the club that you use to put the ball in the hole, which is the whole objective of golf. Okay, now that you guys know a little bit about the golf clubs, I'll go into some detail about the different courses that you might play if you do end up golfing. One thing, when you do want to go to the golf course and you do go to golf, you're either going to have to do 9 holes or 18 holes. Pretty much the difference is, obviously 18 holes is going to take you longer, but if you're just starting out, I would recommend going on 9 holes. Next, once you actually do get up to the first tee, you're going to notice that there's usually 3 different tees. There's the men's tee, the women's tee, and the pros tee. The difference between these is how far they are from the actual pin. The women's tees are typically closer, then next comes the men's tees, and then pros tees are the furthest away from the hole. After you choose what tee to tee off on, you also might notice some of different things that they put on each hole to make it a little more difficult for you. Like, some holes might be positioned next to a pond or a lake, and obviously you don't want to hit the ball in the pond or the lake because that's a water hazard, and you're going to have to drop a ball, and it takes a couple strokes off your final score. Next, there might be sand traps around the hole too, and pretty much a sand trap is what it sounds like. It's a big divot with sand in it, which is obviously going to be harder to hit the ball out of that than off the grass. Now that you know a little background on different courses, I'll go into some of the rules that you're going to need to know if you want to play golf. To start off, when you're playing golf, you always want to have the lowest score. So the lowest score always wins. So say you go up to the course and you're looking at your scorecard and you see the first hole is a par 3. Par 3 means it should take you 3 shots from the tee to get the ball in the hole. And if you do that in 3 shots, you get what is considered par. If you happen to hit it 2 shots less than par, that's called eagle. If you get it 1 shot less than par, that's called a birdie. And if you do get it 1 shot over the par, that's called a bogey. And then 2 shots over par is a double bogey, and so on. So that's some of the basic rules that you're going to need to know if you ever try to play golf. Now, to conclude, I'll tell you guys that golf is a sport that anybody of any age can play, so there's really no restrictions on who can play and when. And also, hope to see you all out at the Ohio University Golf Course this summer. Thank you.